Hello students, today we are going to study a very important topic from organic chemistry named nomenclature. Now basically nomenclature children, it is a system of assignment of names to the organic compounds. Okay, so now we have two different types of systems in organic chemistry. The first one is tribal system, which is also called as common names. The second one is IUPAC, which is called as International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So children, today we are going to majorly focus on IUPAC. According to the system, the name of an organic compound, it consists of three parts. The first one is word root. The second one is suffix, and lastly it is a prefix. Now basically children, the word root which we are going to use, it totally depends upon the number of carbon atoms present in the longest carbon chain selected. Now what does this mean? Let us have a look on the word roots. Now suppose children, if I write down C1, okay, C1 it stands for one carbon atom. The word root which I am going to use is meth. For 2 carbon, we are going to use word root eth. C3, that is 3 carbon, it would be pro. C4, it is but. C5, it is pent. C6, hex. C7, hept. C8, it is oct. C9, non. And lastly, it is C10, dec. Okay. So students, I hope you remember all the word roots which you have studied in the lower standard. So all these word roots we will be using while naming the IUPAC of any organic compound. Next one is children, the suffix. The word root, it is followed by an appropriate suffix which represents the nature of the bond in a carbon-carbon atom. Okay, so let us take an example. If I talk about carbon single bond carbon, okay, this is my carbon single bond carbon. The suffix which I will be using is ANE. For carbon double bond carbon, we will be using suffix ENE. For carbon triple bond carbon, we will be using suffix YNE. Simple? Okay. Let us proceed now with the prefix. Now the prefix, it denotes the substituent alkyl group or the functional group and its position in the carbon chain. Now let us take one example. If I have carbon containing chain, okay. Now over here children, I can see that apart from the longest chain, I have a substituent, the branching part. This is CH3 is my substituent. So I am going to name this substituent along with its position, okay, as a prefix. So the naming would be 2-methyl, since I'm going to start naming from left to right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember children, you're going to name only carbon atoms which are present in a chain. So the position of this methyl group will be 2. So the naming is 2-methyl. So this will be my prefix. Understood? Also, we can use prefixes like di, tri, tetra. All these prefixes are used for 2, 3, 4 groups of the same type. I repeat, we can use prefixes like di, tri, tetra for 2, 3, and 4 groups of the similar type. Let us proceed ahead, children, with the rules for naming an organic compound. Now, the first rule, it says that selection of carbon chain. The first rule is, children, selection of carbon chain. Now, this rule says that the longest continuous chain of carbon atom, which is known as a parent chain, is selected. Remember, children, the longest chain need not to be straight. It can be any chain. It can be a zigzag chain, but it should be continuous chain. Let us solve few examples. Suppose if I have a first example, first compound containing 5 carbon chain. So we can start the numbering it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be my longest chain. Now, since 5 carbon are present, so I'm going to use a word root pent. Clear? So my word root will be pent. Now let us proceed with the second example. Okay. Now in the second chain, in the second example, I can see, children, there are two possibilities. Either I can go a straight chain wherein it contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, or this Z chain wherein it contains, or the Z chain in which it contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. Okay. So definitely I will be taking the longest chain as 6 carbon containing. So my word root in this case, it would be hex. Okay. Now the second rule, it says that the branch chains are considered to be substituents. Remember, children, the branching which is present on the longest chain, or in the other words, we can say apart from the longest chain, whichever group is present in a compound, it is named as a substituent. And the second rule says that the position should be indicated by numbering the carbon atoms to which they are attached. I repeat, the position of the substituents, they are indicated by the number of carbon atoms to which they are attached. Let me take one example. Okay, in this example, you can see, children, apart from this longest chain, my longest chain is a straight chain. So apart from this longest chain, CH3, which is also called as a methyl group, it is present on second position. So I will be naming it as 2-methyl. Okay, you're going to write down the position and the prefix, the name of the substituent which is present along with the position as a prefix. You're going to write it down. The third rule says that, children, the carbon atom of the longest chain are numbered in such a way that the alkyl group or any substituent, it gets the smallest number. Okay. Now let me take one example. Now in this particular example, I can see my longest chain is a straight chain since it contains a 5 carbon. CH3 is my substituent. Now this rule says that, children, my substituent should be given the smallest numbering. So the numbering you can give either from left to right or a right to left. Remember, it should start only with the terminals. Okay, I mean to say, if I need to number this longest chain, I can either start from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I go from left to right, the position of CH3, okay, this is my left to right. The position of CH3 is second position. Similarly, children, I can also number it from right to left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this case, my CH3 group, it is present on the fourth position. Right to left, the position is what, children? It is fourth. So definitely, according to the third rule, I need to select this particular position, that is the second position, and the fourth position is wrong. Okay, so my correct numbering would be from left to right. So I'm going to number it in this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Clear? The next rule, the fourth rule, it says that in case any functional group is also present in the chain, then the carbon atoms are numbered in such a way that the functional group gets the smallest possible number. Okay, let us try to understand this concept or this rule with an example. CH3, CH, CH2, CH, CH3, and I have one methyl group present on carbon and OH group present on this carbon. Okay, now let us try to apply the first three rules. The first three rules says that first we need to select the longest chain. So if I look into the longest chain, definitely my longest chain will be this one. Okay, since it contains 5 carbon. Okay, the second rule, it says that the substituent should be given the position. Okay, and the third rule, it says that the substituent should be given, or the functional group, it should be given lowest numbering. Okay, so let us try to write down the position in both the ways. If I try to number it from left to right, so my left to right position would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, better I'll write down below. Left to right, the position of CH3 is 2. The position of OH group, okay, that is my hydroxy group, it is 4. Clear? Let us write down now from right to left. So this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So right to left, the position of OH is second, whereas the position of CH3 is what, children? The position of CH3 is 4. Okay. So in this case, children, always remember, wherever you have a substituent along with the functional group, you are going to give the smallest possible number to the functional group. And the functional group in this case is my OH group. Clear? So I'm going to number it from right to left. Clear? So the naming would be, in this case, the naming I'm going to write it down as 4-methyl. Okay, 4-methyl. This is my prefix followed by the suffix. So 4-methyl, and then I will write it down as pentane 2-all. Remember, OH is the hydroxy group and the functional group is alcohol. So I'm going to simply replace E from alkene. We are going to replace E with OL. Okay. And the position of this OL, the position of OH, you are going to write it down before the suffix, that is pentane 2-all. Clear? So this is the correct name of this compound. Always remember, you're going to put hyphen between a number and a letter. The first letter should be capital. I repeat, you're going to use hyphen between a number and a letter, and the first letter should be capital. Clear? Let us proceed with the next rule. In case different type of substituents are attached to the chain, they are arranged and named alphabetically. I repeat, in case different types of substituents are attached to the chain, they are arranged and named alphabetically. Let us take an example. CH3, CH, Br, CH2, CH, Cl, CH2, and CH3. Now, I hope everyone is clear with the previous rules. Let us apply all the rules and try to name the prefix. So in this case, I'm going to number it from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, remember the functional group or the substituent should be given lowest numbering, and that is the reason why I have selected left to right direction for numbering. Now the next rule, it says that whenever two different substituents are present, so in this case we have one bromo group and the second one is a chloro. So in this case, children, always remember we are going to name it alphabetically. So definitely my bromo group should be named before chloro. Okay, so the naming will be 2 bromo, 4 chloro, and the suffix total 6 carbon are present. So I'm going to use word root hex, and then since it is a single bond containing compound, so I'm going to use ANE. So the name of this entire compound is 2 bromo 4 chlorohexane. Clear? So students, let us proceed with the sixth rule. The position of alkyl group are indicated by writing the position and name of the alkyl group just before the name of parent hydrocarbon. If I look into the below example, the numbering will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the name of this compound will be 3-ethyl. Since on third carbon, ethyl group is present, so I'm going to name it as a 3-ethyl, and further the suffix would be heptane. The word root is hept since 7 carbon are present, ANE since a single bond carbon containing compound is present. Clear? Let us proceed with the next rule, seventh rule, which says that multiple alkyl groups are labeled with Greek numerical prefixes such as di for 2, tri for 3, tetra for 4, penta for 5. I repeat, multiple alkyl groups are labeled with the Greek numerical prefixes such as di, tri, tetra, penta for 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. Further, it says that if two alkyl groups are on the same carbon atom, the numeral is repeated. So let us look into the example. So in this case, children, again, my longest chain is a straight chain. So I'm going to number it from left to right, the first, second, third, and fourth position. So this rule says that, children, if I have similar type of groups or similar alkyl group present on the same carbon, so I'm going to repeat the numeral. So in this case, the position of methyl group is 2, 2, and the Greek prefix I'm going to use it is di. So the naming will be 2, 2 dimethyl bute since 4 carbon are present, and ANE since single bond compound is present. Clear? Okay, so children, these were the rules which we are going to use while naming IUPAC for any organic compound. Now let us proceed ahead with few examples. Let us try to use all the rules which we have studied. The first example, the naming will be 1, 2, 3. This is my longest chain. So the naming will be 2-methyl propane. Since 3 carbon are present, so the word root is pro. The second example, The numbering I will start from 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in this case, children, either you can start it from a right to left or a left to right. In both the cases, you will be getting the position as 2, 3. So the position of both the substituent is 2, 3 hyphen, and then the prefix will be dimethyl butane. The third example, again the numbering will be, remember children, you are going to number only the carbon atoms. So now in this case, on the first carbon, I have 2 Cl group. So I'm going to number it twice. So 1, 1. Then again Cl group are present on second position. So this is my 1, 1, 2, 2 hyphen tetra, since 4 similar groups are present. So tetra chloro, and the suffix will be ethane. Coming to the fourth example, numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in this case, children, the naming will be but, since 4 carbon are present. Then you are going to use the suffix based on the carbon-carbon multiple bonds. Now over here, I have triple bond. So I'm going to write down suffix YNE. Now remember, before the functional group, the suffix part, you're going to write down the position of the functional group. So the position is 2. The naming will be but 2 YNE. Similar way, if I have a double bond containing compound, I'm going to number it 1, 2, 3, 4. The double bond or the triple bond in the previous example, as you can see, children, the triple bond is present between second and third carbon. So always take the lower position. So the numbering is 2. Similarly, I'm going to name it as but and then 2. And since my double bond is present, so I'm going to use the suffix ene. So the naming is but 2e. Clear? So with this, children, we have completed the entire topic of IUPAC. I hope all your doubts are clear. Still, if you have any doubt, any difficulty in any of the rules, you can drop a message in the comment box. I will definitely help you out. Okay? So thank you, children.